Neen and Raspa, who are going to share a little bit about their faith story and maybe a little bit about the goodness of that convocation.
Good morning. I'm Neen Raspa, and I was selected to represent Infant Jesus Parish at the recent Convocation of Catholic Leaders, the Joy of the Gospel of South Jersey. To say that this was an honor is not an exaggeration. The speakers, the liturgies, the breakout sessions were incredible. But each day we were fortunate enough to hear from individuals just like you and I that were willing to share their stories of their powerful witness of their Catholic journey. Listening to the speakers made me search my own soul, asking myself, when and where did I find my Jesus? What was my personal journey? Well, I guess I may have thought too hard and too loud, because it was soon thereafter that Father Joe asked us to share our stories with you. In all honesty, I was brought up in a strong Catholic home. I attended St. Mary's Grammar School in Gloucester, Gloucester Catholic High School, and I attended Rosemont College. So that was 16 years of Catholic education. As a young adult, I was very active in St. Mary's in Gloucester, and that involvement carried over to my life here at St. Margaret's. But when did the fire of Jesus take over my heart? Was it in high school when they nicknamed me the nun? I honestly think I was always full with the Spirit. I was blessed with the two best parents that left it up to me to decide for myself, my religious involvement. I have the most awesome story to share. The summer between my 6th and 7th grade, my parents bought a house in Ocean City, New Jersey. What a lucky kid to spend the whole summer down the shore. I spent the summer babysitting my grandmother, or maybe she was babysitting me. My mom said to me, "Do you want your vacation to last longer?" My response was like, "Sure, why not? How does that happen?" She said to me, "Wake up every morning at 8 o'clock and attend Mass." Well, she got me. I thought, I'm not really sure how that'll make my summer vacation last any longer, but it's worth a shot. Silly me, she just wanted me to get up and out of bed before noon, so my days would be longer, but I did it. A 12-year-old girl every morning sitting in the pew, with most people 50 years my senior. 5 years ago, when I retired from 32 years of federal service, the words of my 1971 mom rang in my ears. "Do you want your retirement to last longer?" Of course. Wake up every day and go to Mass. And I do. And this makes me and my heart feel closer to my God. My faith makes me feel complete.
My personal encounter story goes back to 2008. Actually, several years prior to that time, my brother Mike had been trying to get me to go to Malvern for a weekend retreat. I did have some conflicts that prevented me from going, but in all honesty, I wasn't trying really hard to get myself free to go. I just kept pushing it off for some reason. Finally, in 2008, I made up my mind that I was going to go and make my first retreat. Now, I've always been a regular churchgoer, and from anyone else's view, I was living a very Catholic life. But in truth, at that time, I hadn't been to confession for 10 years. I was ashamed of this, but every time I would think about going, I would put it off for fear of the unknown. What would I say? How would the priest react? And did I even remember how to go to confession? While at Malvern, we have the opportunity to receive the sacrament of reconciliation, and in fact, we're actively encouraged to participate. I decided that that was the time on my first retreat. I entered the confessional with a lot of apprehension. Sitting in there was a visiting priest that I didn't know. I shamefully told him that it had been 10 years since my last confession, and then I confessed my sins. To my surprise and relief, he listened without judgment and a kindness in his eyes. When I was done, he gave me absolution and penance as usual. But when I looked in his eyes at that time, I had an overwhelming feeling that I was sitting right in front of God. I hadn't noticed that when I first entered the confessional. It was so strong that it was emotional. As I later reflected on it, I realized that God was letting me know in a very personal way that it was He who forgave me my sins. His divine mercy flows to us in this sacrament through the human form of the priest. What a wonderful and awesome gift to us. I've never forgotten how I felt that day, and I'll never let myself be separated from His inexhaustible mercy again. Thank you for your time and for listening to us today.